Many thanks for joining us on the news on the hour on Anglican Cable Network Nigeria, ACNNTV. I am Charles Philip Owakolam. The church has been admonished to be strong and united and to stand against the evil of this present generation, such as homosexuality, transgender, corruption, inhumanity, injustice, amongst other immoralities found in the world today. This was the admonition of the diocesan bishop of the Anglican Diocese of the Trinity, USA, the Right Reverend Amos Fagbamiye, as he speaks on the need for the church to stand united in order to overcome the devil and all his devices.
We need to be strong, and this time we need to be united. United, we can fight the devil. Any little crack within the church can result in greater crack and division. And before you know it, the devil has taken over. So the church today needs to stand against the evil of our generation, against homosexuality, against transgender and all these kind of immoralities, sexual immorality, corruption, injustice, inhumanity. They're all parts of evil. And so the church needs to stand against these things. And so we need to sacrifice. If we have to, Jesus Christ has sacrificed himself for us. So it's not too much. Whatever we can sacrifice, little two things for us to be able to fight the good fight. And the church to stand for the faith, to stand for the gospel.
An Anglican priest in the Diocese of Jos, Venerable Justice Okoronkwo, has highlighted some of the modern things that has made the church to turn away from its true identity. He made this observation while in an interview with ACNN News correspondent Nzubechi Frank in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, where he talked about the dichotomy of existence in the church.
We have secularism, wherein people begin to live their lives in compartments, as if there is the time for the sacred and the time for the secular. So somebody comes to church and adopts the sacred mode, is a mode. Then he behaves well within that place, as if that is the only place where that kind of behavior should be exhibited. Then as soon as he leaves church, he is something else. Now that kind of dichotomy of existence is on the increase, and any church that promotes it is no longer the true church. It has moved away.
The cleric also condemned churches that promotes materialism and hedonism, stressing that such act is very dangerous.
Materialism and hedonism. Hedonism is the concept that promotes pleasure at the expense of any other thing, so long as it makes you feel good. So you begin to find churches struggling to make people feel good in the church and to feel good in the society. Now, it's not as if the church is to make people feel bad, but if somebody is living bad, the word of God is to make him feel uncomfortable in a world that hates Jesus. If the world crucified him, James said friendship with the world is enmity with God. So we find the church promoting that kind of friendship, and a church member sits in church and doesn't get heaven sick or homesick. That is very, very dangerous.
Now to some national news. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the sum of 10 billion naira as an intervention fund for the upgrade of Acnn International Airport, Enugu. The president disclosed this in a tweet on his official handle. The intervention fund approval follows an earlier meeting between the Southeast leaders and with the President Buhari at the State House Council chambers in Abuja. The leaders during the meeting called for special federal government intervention for the speedy completion of the Enugu International Airport and rehabilitation of the federal roads in the region. Speaking on behalf of the leaders, Chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum and the Ebonyi Governor, Dave Umahi, urged the President to declare a state of emergency on the roads in the Southeast. Governors at the meeting include Emeka Ihedioha of Imo State, Governor Okezie Ikpeazu of Abia State, and Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State. Also Senator Enyinaya Baribe, Senate Minority Leader representing Southeast Caucus in the National Assembly, and Senator Sam Egu, among others, were at the meeting. Also, President Muhammadu Buhari has said that if the federal government was able to put in place the right infrastructure in different sectors of the economy, Nigerians would not be so concerned about who's in the government. Buhari, who said this via his Twitter handle, added that his government was doing its best to provide infrastructure within the available resources. He said that he believes that with the right infrastructure, Nigeria would prosper. Meanwhile, some Nigerians have reacted to the tweet of the president by calling for the provision of basic amenities in the country, while some commended him for taking the right step. The federal government and organized labor have reached an agreement on the implementation of the new minimum wage after 3 days of talks that ran through night and ended in the wee hours of the morning. At a meeting which started around 7 p.m. on Thursday and ended after 2 a.m. on Friday, both sides finally agreed on the percentage increase for grade levels 7 to 17. For grade level 7, 23%, level 8, 20%, level 9, 19%, level 10 to 14, 16%, level 15 to 17, 14%. The meeting also increased the salaries of the military and the paramilitary officers, but the percentages were kept confidential. According to the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, the details of the increase will be communicated to the military and the paramilitary organizations through the appropriate channels. He also expects the adjustments to be implemented immediately. This is still the news on the hour. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Not that I mean to undermine polytechnics, they do a good job, but university education is actually more valuable.
What teacher is supposed to do is to identify those people that are very slow in learning.
When you discover your child is not performing well in a particular subject, it's for you to encourage the child and find out ways to assist the child.
I don't give respect to the school in which you graduated from. What I see in you and I expect is what you can offer. And this is what polytechnic education equipped the graduate with.
There's no longer white-collar jobs. They are nowhere to be found. The population is increasing on a daily basis and the government cannot provide all the needed jobs for the bobbing youths.
It's the doctor that the patient has to get a prescription for. The reason is that when the patient comes, the patient gets a card and is directed to see the physician.
Thanks for staying tuned. For more on our top stories, please visit our website at acnntv.com or youtube.com/ACNNTV. To be up to date with our news and other programs, download the ACNN app for Android from Google Play Store. And now to international scene. Christians in north-central Algeria were kicked out of their churches by police just days after many faithful protested the government's crackdown on houses of worship. Christian Solidarity Worldwide, a UK-based non-governmental organization that monitors persecution in 20 countries and has consultative status with the UN, reports that 3 Algerian Christian churches have been shut down this month. According to the Christian Solidarity Worldwide, the number of churches that have been shut down in Algeria so far this year has risen to at least 8. Since 2017, waves of church closures have been carried out by authorities in the Muslim-majority country on the basis of the 2006 law that requires all non-Islamic places of worship to be authorized by a national government agency. Algeria, where Christians comprise less than 1% of the country's population, ranks as the 22nd worst country in the world when it comes to Christian persecution, according to the Open Doors USA 2019 World Watch list. Sterling has fallen as investors fret over Boris Johnson's chances of pushing his Brexit deal through Parliament, while Asian markets were mostly shut down after data showed China's economy expanded at its slowest pace in nearly 3 decades. The pound rallied almost to $1.30 following news that negotiators had hammered out an agreement that would avoid Britain's leaving the EU without a divorce deal, a move many warned would be economically catastrophic. However, the joy was soon tempered by the realization that the British Prime Minister faces an uphill task in getting it past lawmakers, with opposition, MPs, and even some in his own Conservative Party saying they were against it. Most importantly, Northern Ireland's Democratic Union Party, which props up Johnson's government, said it was unable to support these proposals. Casualties are increasing as Turkey presses on with its cross-border offensive on Kurdish-held areas of northern Syria. At least 11 civilians have died and dozens of fighters from the Kurdish-led SDF and pro-Turkish factions have been killed, saying the first death of a Turkish soldier was confirmed by Turkey's military. Tens of thousands of people have fled their homes amid growing international criticism of the offensive. Turkey moved into northern Syria after the US President Donald Trump pulled American troops out of the area. Analysts say the US withdrawal effectively gave Turkey the green light to begin its cross-border assault. Moving on to sports. Ex-international Friday Ekpo has launched astonishing attack on Kelechi Iheanacho, claiming he's prioritizing money over his career. Iheanacho has struggled for game time since the arrival of Brendan Rodgers. He has not featured for Leicester City in the Premier League this season. According to Ekpo, Iheanacho is still young, but age is gradually catching upon him. As a result, he needs a club where he would be playing regularly. He also posited that Iheanacho is the architect of his misfortune, saying that he should be more interested in playing the game than chasing after megabucks. Reports in the Turkish media has revealed that aspiring Besiktas president Ahmed Nur Sebi has promised to bring the Nigerian striker to the Istanbul club. And that's where we draw the curtain on today's edition of News on the Hour. Thanks for watching. I am Charles Philip Owakolam.